But that is a Kunkka for Afu, and it will be Ohio on the Nyx Assassin then. Classic Afu hero. And a nice way, I was kind of thinking like maybe they could do that kind of off-lane Venge style that some teams have run before where you duel it with someone like a Nyx Assassin and you have to swap out for the Chrono. It's very good with Terrorblade. But this other option with Afu is he's going to be the counter initiator now. He's going to have to be relying on that boat. He can use the Torrent inside of the Chronosphere as well. And he also offers some catch-up potential for this Arc Warden just to try and keep him locked down in these fights. So,
how do you feel about the 3 Nyx, though? I really feel like he has not been played as an off-laner all that much.
I think if we look at who his allies are, though, we've seen Death Prophets be super active. Now, speaking of super, one of these problems is I love the way no one has been playing that Death Prophet, right? I think a lot of people, not just him, but Death Prophet's been more active in fights early on than I think we've ever seen her in the past couple tournaments. Like, people aren't necessarily just rotating with Exorcism, going for a tower and everything. They're much more freely moving across the map, getting big silences off, throwing out those Crypt Swarms and running people down. That works with a Terrorblade. You know, he wants to be the guy who's getting some farm on the other side of the map. The question is, can Super do that? The hero has been doing it on other people, or is Super going to play a Super Death Prophet, where he is much more structure and objective focused? I feel like they need that active hero who runs around and does shit, not a Lina that buys an Aghanims and Laguna Blades one person. Right? It's just...
No, I would agree. And I think the way we saw Ohio play the Omni Knight might fit the Nyx a little bit better. Because if he gets that early farm, Nyx can do so much more with it.
Yeah,
you know, like the Aghanim Scepter, the Force Staff, the Blink Dagger, it opens up a lot of possibilities. Where Omni, it's not quite the same.
He needs to just be enabled. Like, he's going to be running around with Ice Blast as well as Kunkka. Even those 3 can get kills. So maybe in that sense it's okay if Super isn't super active. But I do actually like the full LFY draft altogether.
Really? Because I was kind of thinking the same about the ViCi draft.
It's hard to judge Arc Warden, I find. I don't know. They have a lot of split push with Nature's Prophet and Arc Warden. So he can also lob a lot of damage inside of the Chronosphere too. So early attempt at a first blood here. Yeah,
I'm also curious to see how the lanes will settle down. But Smoke moving in pretty deep. They may bump into Lana. He's going to get caught by the Torrent from Afu, and the follow-up will be there. He does have the Burrow Strike to make it back to the tower. And no first blood will be drawn, but very aggressive start from LFY.
Yeah, they should be able to get both of these runes, but I'm sure they'll just double up top as well. They can just send the Void and aggressive. Fenrir can grab the other one.
Yep. And of course, with that global presence of the Prophet, some of these early fights, there's always that potential to turn. You know, something that LFY will have to keep in mind, that you could have an even, you know, a 2v2 or a 3v3 in the mid, then all of a sudden old 11 comes in, and you've got a 4v4, or a 4v3 rather. Metamorphosis by Monet was also used for that, by the way, so that'll be on cooldown and not available for the first 2 minutes of the laning stage.
Yeah, that was a pretty greedy attempt, like on a Sand King of all heroes.
Yeah, not a huge deal, but still a little bit unfortunate. Usually that is some secured farm for Terrorblade early on.
Yeah, and you might see 11 bully that as well. But Nature's Prophet generally considered one of the best offlaners for harassing the enemy carry, of course, because Treants do a pretty stupid amount of damage early on, just constantly battering into you. But Terrorblade has very high armor. So starting right now with just 13, he isn't as bothered by the Treants as most carries are going to be.
Some pretty serious block action here in the bottom lane between the Treants and the Sand King. Pretty good lane positioning for ViCi in the bottom lane. Going to be a 3-on-2, both supports for LFY starting down here. And it will be the Arc Warden versus Death Prophet mid matchup. And for now, a straight 1v1.
Yeah, with a 3-on-2, you imagine most of our kills will be happening down that bottom lane, but very hard to set up right now. They need level 2 on Afu before they can really guarantee anything, or it's just going to be pure skill shots of a Torrent, then into a Cold Feet.
Kunkka AA, though, is a pretty nasty support duo. A lot of kill potential between these two once they get a couple of levels, as you're talking about.
High damage, but risky control. Neither having a reliable stun.
That's true. I guess X-Torrent is sort of reliable, but I see your point. Ohio up top taking a lot of damage from Fenrir. Going to be able to survive through it, of course. Pops the salve, but the power of that early Shadow Word, very annoying to these offlaners. Even a Nyx Assassin with all that base regen has trouble dealing with it.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like the tanky guy, dude. Double
and
mangoes.
And he's got 2 mangoes, yeah.
7.6, but Warlock, what a hero.
Yeah, pretty incredible in this particular situation. Going to start running low on mana, but Fenrir off to a good start.
But Ohio, again, all he really needs is levels. We'll be looking for that high damage support duo of AA and Kunkka to kind of shore up anything that he's lacking before his glorious Meteor Hammer comes out.
I want to focus in on this mid lane a little bit. Rare that we have a true 1v1, at least for now. Seems like mid has turned into dual lanes and even tri-lanes at times in this meta. Who do you think wins this matchup, the Arc Warden on DP? I would have said Arc Warden, but it seems like Super is holding his own pretty darn well.
I mean, DP just wants to like play up in your face, so that definitely benefits up against an Arc Warden. He's relatively squishy early on. It just kind of makes sense that she'll be able to run him down.
Down bottom, they did find that first blood. Monet able to grab it as the Metamorphosis came back up. That support duo, as we talked about, able to help set it up. So a nice early start for Monet, but back to the mid lane. Looks like a rotation is coming onto Super. Lanham around the backside. Does have the Burrow Strike available. Connects, and now Ori with the follow-up damage. I don't think Super will survive this one. And the Arc Warden strikes back. Gets a kill up on the board for himself. Now back down bottom. X onto Old 11. Caught by the Torrent. Yao ready to follow up. Cold Feet will connect with a stun.
Oh, he's an Arcane Rune too, so Lanham's actually already
no kill potential.
Raring to go here.
Yeah. Yeah, just good harassment. I mean, without meta, pretty hard to actually find that kill on 11, but
look what happens to Super now. He starts playing aggressive because of how he can posture in this lane as the DP, just abusing that early Soul Siphon. And Lanham's just like, yeah, no, you're not going to do that to my mid laner. I'm going to come in and kill you. And suddenly the lane is dipping in the Arc Warden's favor pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ohio was just trying to grab a wave somewhere. He's just dancing around now with Fenrir. He's actually stuck. He's Quelling Blade his way out of here.
Convenient Quelling Blade there.
Yeah, but he didn't grab the wave, so like, what's happening, dude?
This is pretty brutal for the Nyx Assassin. You know, this is one of the reasons why I think we've seen him gravitate more towards the 4 rather than the 3, because his lane presence in the early levels just isn't great. You know, Ohio's doing what he can to get experience, but it's tough.
Yeah, and he can't really rotate very easily into other lanes right now. They could think about doing like a swap in terms of like he goes bottom or something, but you're too concerned because you have a TB, right? So it's not really much for all Ohio. Just going to collect some bounty runes with no experience.
And the other problem is can't really jungle. You know, not really a hero that can kill stuff on his own. So no backup plan. Down bottom again, 11. This time able to dodge the Torrent, so he'll be just fine.
He'll get the wave this time. It looks like Fenrir wants to go buy his boots. So this is what Ohio needs to do. It's like his only play.
Yeah, you're right. This time he will be able to pull it off. Courier bringing in another set of tangos for him. Mid lane, Sand King gearing up for a gank again onto Super. This
Fenrir
time
is coming too.
Positioning maybe a little bit tough.
He knows he can't do anything because the wave's getting pulled, so he just wants to come mid.
Yeah, Super with good positioning under the tower, though.
He's got the ward that saw the Fenrir TP in too, so he knows that something's happening.
Yep, no kill. So great for Ohio. He's pulled that creep wave back behind between his tier 1 and his tier 2, so he will at least be able to get a couple of last hits. And now on the bottom, again, 11 sidesteps the Torrent. Now a stun onto Afu. They're going to try to turn the other way, but Metamorphosis used by Monet. They're going to lay into the Sand King, and they go 1 for 1. Sand King falling first, and that will give LFY a small advantage in this trade.
Yeah, now they want to play a bit more aggressive with this Warlock here. Fenrir just come down and try and bully this TV. Yeah, we bullied an Nyx Assassin. How much is that really going to impact our game, though? Now there's a 2-level advantage for the Faceless Void. Paparazzi should be able to handle himself.
Yeah.
I need to actually try and throw some of this sweet Shadow Word damage onto the Terrorblade instead.
You know, speaking of the Void, we haven't really talked about Paparazzi, but his farm is pretty incredible right now.
Man.
34 and 25, and you know, the Terrorblade not quite keeping up mid lane.
TP.
Yeah, Super. That's it. We talked about old 11 being able to just join fights like that, and that's the threat you got to deal with.
Oh, and they even get the little Observer Ward. He had to try and keep himself safe.
Up top, Paparazzi just laying into Ohio. He's used his Spike Carapace and in his Pale already, so Paparazzi going to continue to find the auto attacks. Back-to-back
he
bashes.
Didn't believe in the bash, dude.
Oh, my.
Paparazzi, why?
He does have 3 points in the time lock, so...
You got to trust in the bash, man. He could have had a kill.
Yeah.
He's going to have such an early 6, though. There it is already. 6 minutes in. Ian, this was with a support in his lane for quite a bit of it. It's just because of those 25 denies.
Yeah, the denies add up, but also the Warlock was in and out of the lane. You know, there was a lot of time where he was just chasing around the Nyx Assassin and giving that Void just complete free farm in the lane and all that solo XP.
Yeah, he farmed the hard camp, too, with the wave as well.
This is really a brilliant start for ViCi Gaming here, up to a 2K lead already at only 6 minutes with Void at the top of the charts, and even Arc Warden has a pretty significant net worth advantage over the Death Prophet. He is bullying this lane for now. Looks like more rotations are on the way. Afu coming around the backside, but Lanham is also here. Death Prophet uses the Exorcism, doing a lot of damage. Ori staying alive for now, but he falls first. They get Super as a trade, and ViCi have the superior numbers. Afu getting repelled to the tower. They will be able to chase him down, and Yao hiding in the tree line might be able to make it away. Lanham gets vision, but does not go for the Burrow Strike. A 1 for 2 in the mid.
Jeez.
ViCi get the advantage.
What a hero, though. I mean, she almost survived. That was essentially a 5-man gank with the double Arc Warden, and she held her own for quite a while there, got some damage in there, at least was able to take down the Arc Wardens. So not the worst scenario possible, but they are wrapping in here. They want to get this tower knocked down early for the DP, and this is going to push that Arc Warden closer to his Midas as fast as possible with towers.
Yeah.
This is where Monet needs to start shoving this as fast as he can, but there's just not enough time. He's very early TB, only level 5.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, though. You have to support this Arc Warden early on. That Midas timing is just so key to unlocking his mid-game.
They're not even bringing the Chrono. They're just like, yeah, I'm sure this is fine.
I mean, Void has unlimited space right now. You know, why rotate him when he can just free farm like this? He's getting pretty close to that Mask of Madness already. We're only 8 minutes in, and of course, this Tower Gold will help. There's the Glyph from the Radiant, so that will delay things, but without Exorcism, very hard to mount a defense. AA only level 4, so there's no Ice Blast, and even Kunkka, he's level 3. You know, you've got a level 2 X marks the spot. That's great, but not a hell of a lot they can do.
Man, losing your mid tower at 8 minutes, this is very painful. I think at Genting, the team that lost their mid tower first lost every single game. At least the ones I was casting. It was pretty brutal. Obviously, you lose a lot of control of your own side. It makes these little camps here that everyone loves to farm nice and safely very dangerous. So
yeah,
hard life.
I like the way they use the spark rates there. The Arc Warden, just this wall behind the tower so that they have to take damage if they want to get close enough to actually defend.
Yeah, and now let's keep it up. Get that pressure going. 11 just down bottom. Wants to start pushing this in. And once more, as he said, Paparazzi just not rotating. Level 8 up top, wants his Mask of Madness, so he'll still be pushing in top during all of this.
Down bottom, 11 does get initiated on with the
Torrent,
but a lot of reinforcements on the way. 11 will not survive through it. The Sprout not enough to keep him alive, but now Terrorblade, the target of choice. He does have a Sunder and some stick charges. There's the Sunder onto Lanham, but will they have the damage to bring him down with a Chronosphere? They absolutely can. They don't even need it. No. A couple of right clicks from the Void, and Ori will secure that kill. So they go 1 for 2, losing the Prophet, but getting Afu and Monet in exchange.
Yeah, and you know what Super loves to do is a DP, but he's so far away from the tower right now. Just gets that wave, and now there's no one coming through these to push out, so it just delays this idea of trading with a Death Prophet. And since Paparazzi didn't have to burn the Chrono, there's a little bit of threat from that if he's ever not visible down bot.
Yeah. Ohio finally getting some space in the top lane, but 11 right there to delay the push and try to intercept, continuing to make this Nyx Assassin's life difficult. But Afu on the other side of the tree line, they are looking for an opening onto 11.
They know where he is.
That bottom tier 1 does fall in the meantime. Monet going to come up.
Oh, they got him, 11.
Torrent into X. Nice stun from Ohio, and 11 has nowhere to go. It's a 3-on-1. The Sprout is a noble effort as he gets off the Wrath of Nature, but Monet will finish him off.
And that should be 6 now for Ohio. It is indeed. So he wants to get stuff done. Yao is close. He can get the Tome, and he'll have Ice Blast. And it looks like Kunkka might be the one to steal it, though. We'll see what they do.
Down bottom, rotations from LFY.
Fenrir is a pretty juicy target right now.
Yeah, Ohio is vendetted up. And playing the mobile ward at the moment, but it looks like ViCi are just going to back up. Remember, Void did not use Chronosphere there. He also has the Mask of Madness, so this is one of those situations where they need to be very careful of how aggressive they get into the Void, because he is scary.
Super instantly takes silence at 9.
Oh, there's a Sentry Ward down. Ohio walks right into it, and that will be a freebie for Paparazzi. Speak of the devil.
Well, that was even from earlier before Ohio was even 6. That was just to help them push that tower to make sure there weren't wards in behind or something.
That was just a casual Sentry Ward, just very unlucky for the Nyx. That will happen occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, playing around it as well. They were definitely thinking that they knew he was 6, and they even pinged the trees when he was TPing down. I think they were saying that he was coming through, so they kind of knew he was looking to scout it out, especially the way Death Prophet was starting to edge her way past the creep wave.
Yep. All right, Ancient Apparition, the one lacking the ultimate right now. He's getting close to level 6, but I think that will help things for LFY quite a bit. At least try to take a couple of these team fights.
Just be careful for Lanham up here. Afu wants to set up. Give him the business.
Oh, the boat is here. Kunkka's level 6, but Lanham, Burrow strike out, will dodge it. He gets pulled back. Are they actually going to have the damage for this? Monet trying to chase him down. Stick charges come. It's not going to be enough. It's a failed gank attempt as now 11. TP's up. They're going to try to turn it the other way, but Super also making the rotation. ViCi need to be very careful here. X-Torrent pulls 11 back, and he is going to be the sacrificial lamb. Exorcism also gets deployed. Looks like LFY just want to turn this into a tier 1 tower push.
Yeah, nice play by Lanham. Gets the stun out so that there wasn't a pullback possibility, and now he's being watched as he shrines up here, but Ohio needs the long bomb. Here it comes. It's going to take a while, but luckily he's sandstorming a neutral camp, so He's going to be here for a bit.
Okay, invisible on invisible, but AA is now level 6, connects. There's the stun from Nyx, and this should be an easy kill onto Lanham. The torrent will be there. He burrow strikes away. Is he going to shatter? No! They needed one more auto attack.
Yep.
Oh, my.
And that all comes from the wasted boat, too.
What a heartbreaker.
And then he just gets salved. All right, sick.
Okay. Literally one auto attack, and I think they would have had a shatter there.
Yeah.
Big time bummer. Paparazzi now going for the Shadow Blade on the Void. His farm continuing to impress, but going for that mobility tool to find the initiations.
Both towers bottom are now gone.
Yeah.
Mid tower, tier 1 is gone. I mean, if they start shoving in the top, where the hell are LFY going to go? Like, at least you have a Terrorblade who's someone who can, yeah, he can shove waves from more dangerous positions, but...
Still, this really does open up the Radiant jungle, and also good wards from the Dire.
Oh, that's not the Radiant jungle anymore. That thing's, it's over.
This is now the Dire
lost
jungle.
It. Yeah, they have annexed it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, one way for LFY to regain some momentum, though, I think, is with these Nyx Assassin ganks in tandem with the Ice Blast. Sort of like we saw there on Delanum, but actually finding the kills. I mean, those little pickups do add up. Looks like they may try the setup onto Old 11 here. Ice Blast already flying through. Ohio connects with the Vendetta.
Oh, just clips him.
Does he have the Impale? 11 moving around quickly. On the other side, though, the Sand King comes in, and there's the rock from the Warlock. Sunder comes out as Monet, taking a lot of damage. He will be pushed back. No Metamorphosis for 30 seconds.
Gotta watch this Chrono, though. Paparazzi wants it.
There it is. Chrono dropped on top of the Terrorblade. The follow-up damage will be there. Kunkka Boat comes in, but it's a little too late to save him. It does, however, get a counter kill on the Void. So 1-for-1 on the cores, but now Ori comes in the backside, laying a lot of damage into the backline with the Warlock Golem just charging forward. LFY probably won't take any more casualties, but their entire team being repelled right now. Also, no Exorcism for another 10, so a tough time to take a fight.
Yeah, because they're so far behind, though, that is going to become a victory there for LFY. Like, you trade favorably with a Chrono going down, too. Ohio trying to save his tower as well. The Ice Blast.
It connects on 3, and Ohio sets it up on 11. Fenrir probably going to go down as well. Afu getting very low. The Golem will give him that last punch, but a big sign of life for LFY. Super not going to be able to stop that TP from Ori, and the Arc Warden will make it out.
Man, all of this tower gold, though, you're seeing it. Position 4, Lanham, involved in 8 of the kills so far as assists, and now even with just 16 last hits, he's got that Blink Dagger thanks to all these towers being down.
Yeah, huge item on the Sand King. Opens up so much more.
Especially with, again, this Arc Warden and Nature's Prophet. Just like the global potential here is going to be quite absurd. I guess he's not going to have his bots for a bit, though. He wants that full Mjolnir.
Well, a manageable lead for ViCi right now. 4,000 net worth. Certainly not insurmountable, but it is palpable. I think once the Void gets that Shadow Blade, things might get a little easier for ViCi. LFY, in the meantime, they are smoked up as 4. Super does have an Exorcism available, with Ohio leading the charge. Vendetta up. Looks like the rotation will come mid. They may find Lanham in the tree line. He does break the smoke.
Hard to find exactly where he is, though. Now he wanders on in. Oh, they don't grab him in time, though.
Oh, Ohio's going to see him now, but there are a lot of teammates nearby. I'm not sure if you want to initiate on this. Ice Blast will connect only on 1, but big time follow-up as the boat secures the kill. Afu
He's the leading
initiator,
though. So that's definitely the person you want to grab in that situation. Yeah. It just stops him from defending this tower full stop with no Chrono.
Yeah, Metamorphosis used to make it an easy tower kill, and in the top lane, 11 is pushing in that tier 1, so they will go tower for tower at the very least.
This map's so open for 11, though.
Big item pickup now on 11. That's the Orchid. So treads right into Orchid. You see a lot of Prophets stop off for the drums before Orchid comes, but a lot of lockdown now. Yeah. Big initiation.
He's just accelerated, too, again, because of all this tower, so he can kind of skip out on some of the smaller items.
It's true. When you look at the net worth breakdown, you know, the Terrorblade is farming very nicely. He's actually #1 now that he finished off that tower mid. But I think ViCi have a slightly better farm distribution. Their 3 cores all very close to each other, right behind the TB.
Yeah, and you're going to get this 3.5 thing that happens with the Kunkka and the Kunkka and the Nyx Assassin, right? He always suffers from this if he doesn't get a bunch of kills.
Initiation onto Afu and a Chrono on 2 from Paparazzi. They're going to focus down the Death Prophet. He may be the first to fall, but the Kunkka helps break it up a little bit. Rock comes down. And LFY just out of options. It's a triple kill for 11. And Ohio going to get brought down as well. He ends up with the Ultra. Wow. It looked like Kunkka had broken up that fight so perfectly. The Void had to move out of the way and couldn't finish off the DP, but the follow-up came down, and Fenrir
Yeah.
Pretty much the perfect Warlock Golem in that situation.
If he had his Yules on the DP, there was a chance, but it just wasn't quite done. It's now finished, but wasn't there for that fight. She survived the chrono, but there was no Yules there to save her from the silence, so she's easily cleaned up.
So looks like we've got a replay
here. This paparazzi initiation. Look, they just see him. They're like, oh, there he is, guys. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Yeah, and look at Apu. He's got the right idea. The Kunkka can be so effective in countering the Void in those kind of situations, but the timing, hard to line up, and it's just an overwhelming amount of damage. Felt like LFY just crumbled as soon as the chrono came.
Yeah, excellent use of the cooldowns. I mean, that's always been kind of a staple of a lot of the good Chinese teams, is that they're so good playing this Death Prophet, using those cooldowns of Exorcism, using the same thing with Faceless Void, though with the Chronos, playing aggressive like this. And
in a little bit of trouble.
He might get out of this one.
He's got a Burrow Strike. He does have the Blink Dagger in one, but he's actually going to go for the TP instead. Gets interrupted, and he will get brought down.
Nice use of the, I guess it must have been the Carapace that stopped him there.
Yeah, nice little pick off. We've talked about the timing for that Eul's Scepter, though, on DP. It's so crucial. You know, if the Eul's Scepter was there in that fight, maybe could have been a little bit different, but without it, very little hope for the TP to survive.
She's also got issues in this game. Like, she was picked up so early that they have 2 ranged cores in the Arc Warden and the Nature's Prophet, and then a Void. So, like, you can't really Soul Siphon Void because he's just going to be chronoing you and punching you and stuff, so you don't have that time. And then he'll just like time walk away or something like that. So it's hard to actually make good use of this hero unless you're just like following up with your team. And clearly they are the ones being initiated upon, as they're not able to find any of these good engagements when the ultimates are down. The only thing they were able to get was that tier 1 in the mid lane last time the chrono was used. And well, it's back up already.
Yeah, and now only one outer tower remains for LFY, only 18 minutes into this game. We will see them smoke up and look for maybe a Roshan, maybe a gank attempt first. There is an Exorcism as well as a Metamorphosis available, so it is a relatively good time to try and take a fight. Also, Manta Style just completed on Terrorblade.
Double Shadow Blade now here as well. 11 and Paparazzi ready to run around everywhere, but how about this Terrorblade? As you're saying, like, he's really farmed, honestly. Like, many? There's not many cores that could be this farmed in a game like this where you're terrified. I mean, you could just be dying to this Nature's Prophet, so they have to start playing around the Terrorblade more for sure. Because he has this Orchid and now the Shadow Blade as well. But he's got that Manta. Many cores wouldn't have that at this point, so they'd be more scared. And you can just send illusions to the truly dangerous areas. But
I guess what scares me is just the amount of lockdown on ViCi. You know, that Chrono, Warlock Golem, Burrow Strike.
They know he's in here. They see this fresh Sentry.
Yeah, until the BKB comes, I think this Terrorblade, despite being so farmed, is still vulnerable. But could see an initiation up top. The Tempest double going in first as Lanham follows up onto Monet. They bring him down to about half HP as the Warlock Golem connects on 2. The follow-up Chrono to boot. Ohio will be the target of choice.
He gets the AA
from
in the
Super.
back.
Bought him a little bit of time. 11 now going to have to go blow for blow with Monet, but the rest of the fight looking great for ViCi. Terrorblade left all alone. He's already used his Sunder, and it doesn't matter how farmed you are, not going to be able to handle the Epicenter from Lanham. Another great fight for ViCi. 4-0, Trent.
Oh, precision tactics there from ViCi. I love the way that the Chrono comes down, the ulti as well from Fenrir, and then 11 in the backline just orcs and kills the AA. No chance for a big Ice Blast. Like, he could have hit like 3 heroes there, and maybe that's enough that Monet can come through and clean it up, but the whole supporting cast of TB, dead. Yeah, we know. You're top of the net worth chart, but with no one else around you, we're just going to like completely pull you apart.
Yep. So it turns into an easy Roche for ViCi. Ice Blast does come in, but doesn't really slow things down all that much. Now an Aegis of the Immortal will be secured by the Faceless Void, who also very close to a BKB, just working on that Mithril Hammer, and Magic Immunity will be his. Also the Mjolnir now up on Ori, so pretty standard build coming out of the Arc Warden. BOT is going to be coming next, but he is starting to accelerate, Trent.
Yeah,
this is just the beginning.
This is a Warlock clinic of a game, honestly. Like, of all the Nature's Prophet games I've seen, it's felt like he's been suffering a lot because all he can do is come into a fight and right-click a bunch. That's pretty much it, right? And he hits really hard. There's no doubt about that, obviously. He's like this really weird off-lane ranged core. But Fenrir, like, every fight, he's just dropping the rock. Like, they're never taking a fight without it. So you have essentially 2 massive AoE spells coming out from your 5 and your 4, which isn't a common thing, but that makes up for the fact that your offlaner isn't providing that like he usually does as the initiator. So it's like a free game for 11. He just Orc is the target of his choice, and he blows somebody up.
Absolutely.
All while dealing with the map pressure of a Terrorblade. Like, they have not been forced into any bad trades due to like Terrorblade pushes at all this game from VG because of the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, ViCi has made it look easy. Like, they are fighting around their cooldowns so well.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of other teams draft kind of similar strategies and not be able to execute it. nearly as effectively as we're seeing ViCi here. BKB also on the way for Nature's Prophet, so it seems like 11 and Paparazzi kind of mirroring each other's builds a little bit, going Shadow Blade into BKB, but fits this game so perfectly.
He's on the hunt here. He's like, where is this Nature's Prophet at? I see his Treants. It's got to be around here somewhere.
Yeah, there's a Yule's Scepter on Ohio now, so a little additional survivability, also an interrupt. Set up to make sure that Ice Blast will connect.
Looks like 11's a bit too sneaky, though. Won't be found out here.
Terrorblade working on that Hurricane Pike. Not an item we see super commonly on Terrorblade, but having a mobility tool, always nice in games such as this where there's so much control and lockdown.
What's truly terrifying is it hasn't really felt like Ori's had to do anything this game. I mean, he's obviously keeping up with the split push and everything and aiding in that, but
he's mostly just farmed. Showed up to a few fights, maybe dropped a couple of spark rates, but it's been a pretty economic game.
Yeah,
for him.
Most of the fight is over by the time he throws in those last couple right clicks. It's like, yeah, I know, but you know, the Fatal Bonds are probably going to take care of him anyway. And
he's playing it Z-Freak style.
When he has the blink, it is just, oh, this Arc Warden hero is disgusting.
And he's darn close. He actually skipped the BOTs for now, and he's just going to go right into the blink.
Yeah, this has become the most standard build. You just get like this Midas into the Mjolnir and right for the blink. It's kind of weird. It feels kind of counterintuitive, but you don't necessarily need the bots that early unless you're like being pressured or something.
It depends on the style, right? There is definitely some merit to going early BOTs and just putting that split pressure around the map, but that's just not ViCi's strategy this game. They don't need to wrap. They're winning just with 5v5 team fights right now. So Blink Dagger definitely suits that style much more than Boots of Travel. Void in the front line here. Still some time left on the Aegis, but it seems ViCi do want to make use of it.
It's like, you guys want to fight? I didn't think so.
I mean, LFY going to do everything they can to dodge this fight, I think. Tier 2 just gets sacrificed, no defense mounted. They'll just continue to farm around the map and turtle up on the high ground. Pretty good high ground defense for LFY this game, though. Not something we've really mentioned, but Nyx, Kunkka, and AA all pretty good at defending these Tier 3s.
Yep. But not when there's a Chrono. Or, sorry, not when there's, well, definitely not when there's a Chrono, but not when there's the clone coming out from the Arc Warden. You don't want to pop any of those big ultimates on the clone. You don't want to pop any of these big ultimates on the Aegis. So, although I admire the fact that they're like pulling back here and playing slow from VG, it is really tempting to try and go high ground with this Aegis here. But I guess they're just going to say, listen, we have an Arc Warden. We have an Nature's Prophet. There's no reason to rush this. We should create a split push scenario. We should try and split them up, get a pick before we go high ground, force that buyback, keep playing that very painful, torturous game up against LFY.
Yeah, when you're controlling the map like this, and over time, their farm is just accelerating. Some of that is from the objectives, and now that all the outer towers are down and Roche is dead, we'll see if they're able to maintain this level of farm. But Arc Warden, man, he just absorbs creeps, it feels like. He is going to queue up a Nullifier next. Still a little ways to go, but an interesting choice on the Arc Warden.
Interesting choice. Look at Lan M. He's thinking about going for an Eon disc here.
Yeah,
he's actually got enough here. In 600 gold, he'll have the recipe, and he can just disassemble his boots.
Kind of peculiar, though. Not a common item on the Sand King. We'll see Ohio drop a Sentry Ward. They're going to punish this Sand King now
Andrew,
for farming so aggressively.
I think I know why he might want an Eon disc.
Yeah, well, now we see it. He is going to be able to dodge the Ice Blast. If he survives this, it will be quite the miracle, but he does get clipped by the Yule's Scepter, and they will be able to lock him down. So
all right.
I'm not sure the
I guess
Eon
we figured
disc,
it out. Right, he would have been fine.
Yeah,
because then you were going to negate all the damage from that big combo, because they always have to layer the Kunkka as well as the Nyx Assassin. So makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, Force Staff would be the other item, but
the more conventional item, I'd say.
Or Yule's.
But we'll see how it works out. I don't want to prejudge it.
Or a Meteor Hammer, right? We got to get some more rack going. That's what we need.
And also a Nullifier coming out on Nature's Prophet. So a lot of item mirroring, kind of as we talked about, but double Nullifiers queued up for ViCi. So, I mean, I guess in theory, right? Great against Death Prophet.
Second one?
Because Nature's Prophet and Arc Warden.
Oh, does he
had it queued up.
Yeah.
Maybe they made the call. Nature's Prophet will buy it instead of him.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
So hard to say.
I mean, any active items obviously ownage on Arc Warden. That's part of the reason why Mjolnir is so good.
Exactly.
Because you get to use it twice.
Exactly.
So Nullifier is going to follow the same logic, and plus DP, you're going to take away. They can see she's building a BKB.
Yeah, Arc Warden's re-queued it up again.
Yeah,
so.
I mean that's great. Now they can just put one on the TB,
and one on the
DP, and you still have one extra with the clone.
Yeah, incredible. Like Yule's Scepter is the reset Super relies on, so you take that out of the cards, and it just makes the Orchid that much stronger against the Terrorblade if he can't Manta out of it.
Man, look at Ohio. He's just like, hey guys, I found the Arc Warden. Can we do anything?
Well, it's going to go the
gem.
other way. They scout out Ohio. Gem is on the Sand King, and there is absolutely no way the Nyx Assassin survives that one. And now that he knows they have a gem, he'll probably be playing just a little bit more conservatively. I think that was the reveal since it was picked up.
Or he sends the clone down on the treants too. Hello! Force the BKB.
BKB from Super. And of course he will survive, but a 10-second BKB charge for basically nothing.
Did he think that was real?
Is very disappointing. I'm not sure, Trent. That was very peculiar.
Yeah. Maybe, I think he might have thought it was like a real one. I mean, honestly, if he doesn't BKB, they could have just brought in the real one too, and then maybe Prophet TP's up and you die. So
I mean, it's scary.
That's probably
it's like
why he did it.
Better safe than sorry, but still, that really hurts. That's at the very least a moral victory there for ViCi. Eon Disc also queued up for Death Prophet. We've seen that a number of times. Pretty effective, but still a ways off. Gold lead, very slowly continuing for ViCi. To about 15K net worth now at 27 minutes.
There has been one constant this game, and that is that VG is winning.
Yes. Really has not been a moment where it felt like LFY was in control of this game. And you know, we talked about that farm disparity where TB's at the top, but then all three cores of ViCi are right there with him. And then you see that big drop-off. The Death Prophet, maybe the big one, who is just falling further and further behind in terms of farm. BKB does come out on Terrorblade, but as we've seen, Death Prophet, not one of the heroes that plays particularly well from behind.
Yeah, and I mean, for Paparazzi, it's just like, you've got an Arc Warden and a Nature's Prophet on your team. It's pretty hard to get farm.
Yeah,
like, it's not that shocking he's behind. He went for the more aggressive style. He's like, all right, I can make space for you guys. I'll have the Shadow Blade. If they step out of line, I'm going to bash them on up for you guys. But overall, he's just handing the gold over.
Yeah, double damage rune on Void right now. Looks like he'll just use it for farming, but always scary to see this in the mid game.
So they're smoking out mid here, though. This is that kind of opportunity. I mean, you can't sit in your base. You're going to lose. Have to try and make some sort of a play. And we've seen TB teams come back. Because the hero does stay farmed like this, there's a chance you can just destroy everything. They're postured around Roche. But there's a scan from the Dire, and they see them.
I mean, only 9 levels until that Sunder gets down to a 5-second cooldown. Ward's going to be taken out, though.
Just 9 levels.
Only 9 levels to go, but
practically there.
See if we can hang in there. Roche is also respawned, by the way.
Supports? I know I have all the gold. I'm also going to need your domes.
Having flashbacks to those old Alchemist days. But here we go. Lana walks up to the high ground, finds the stun onto Ohio. Chronosphere available for Paparazzi. He does pop the BKB maybe a little bit early as he did sidestep the Torrent anyway, but better safe than sorry, thinking that LFY may jump in for a counter initiation. Ends up just being a quick pick, and perhaps we'll see ViCi just walk into the Roche pit now, and that is exactly what they'll do.
All according to plan.
Now, Roche 2, so Aegis Cheese. Don't think this one will be contested. We may see an Ice Blast fly in. That'll be cute, but really no way LFY can stop this. There is a smoke, though. They're going to catch Lana. That Eon Disc going to keep him alive a bit longer. He does have the gem, so this is actually kind of unfortunate for him to go down here, but perhaps a worthy distraction for them to finish off Roche. Lana, the sacrificial lamb. Also a buyback from the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, he's coming in here, too. They won't take an... Oh, there's a sentry, but yeah, he's just gone.
Yep, and 11 TP's home. Okay, so bigger gold lead for ViCi now. Again, losing that gem definitely does hurt. Yao will be the one to pick it up, so maybe a little more vision control will come back for LFY. However, on the flip side of things, this Void continues to accelerate his massive farm. That's a Monkey King bar now in the inventory. So he's hitting hard, he's hitting fast, and evasion will no longer be a jail free card for this Terrorblade if Butterfly was a reality. He is just going to go for the Scotty instead, so maxing up on stats, no big surprise. However, ViCi, I think they might try a high ground push relatively soon here, Trent.
Yep, it's that time of the game that we have been waiting for. They don't necessarily need that big pickoff. Now they have the Aegis and the cheese.
Knowing they have the gem, though, Paparazzi needs to be a little careful about how he uses this Shadow Blade. Same goes for Ohio, though. ViCi, expect them to be prepared with sentries in a push situation like this.
Very patient. I mean, this is elimination. This is a good reason VG are not taking any chances, right? 20K lead, 20 kills.
Absolutely.
Matching up quite nicely here.
Yeah, worth reiterating, both these teams 0-2 in this Swiss group stage. 3 losses is that magic number for elimination. So somebody is going home early at the end of this game, and right now it looks like it's going to be LFY. But let's not count our blessings too early. Also, that Nullifier has been completed on Arc Warden, so something else to keep an eye out for in this next team fight.
Yeah, if they target that TB, there is no saving support here. They don't really have a good way to do anything about that. I mean, we talked about the Kunkka. Maybe that can be it, but Ori just sending the clone like that.
I mean, look at how much damage it does to the Kunkka with the nullifier on top of it. It almost finds a kill just with the Tempest double. Opens up some space
happening
for the rest of ViCi to just chip at the tower, and the glyph comes already. Very patient here with the Chronosphere. Paparazzi hiding behind this little tree down at the bottom, not giving them any kind of vision. Sentry wards being pinged out. He does get caught by an X-Torrent, but they don't want to jump out of the base to take the fight. Good patience from LFY not to move out to the low ground. You can see this is pretty difficult for ViCi to break, but at the same time, they can just continue this slow siege. And since the glyph is down, very hard for LFY to stop this little chip damage on their tower. You can just keep sending in this Tempest double, and there's not really much you can do. Chrono comes in, connects on two. The Death Prophet in a lot of trouble. She may be the first to fall, and she will. Now the Rock to follow up. Monet in the front lines, but where's the damage? Everyone on ViCi pretty healthy. The Time Walk will help Void just a little bit, but they do bring down Fenrir. It's a 1 for 2, and in the back line, 11 doing a lot. Now the Epicenter comes. Huge damage onto the Terrorblade. Monet does still find the Sunder. However, Lanham's still alive. He gets off the dust, and he does help secure the kill on TB. BKB super. He's bought back. He wants to clean this up. Ori now in a lot of trouble. He's getting so low, and he will be brought down, but DP gets destroyed to boot. Buybacks on both sides now as the Arc Warden wants to get back into this fight. Afu.
Yeah, good timing here. They're controlling up Paparazzi.
He might be able to bring him down. He does still have the Aegis as well. So even if they bring down Paparazzi, he's coming back. Now the Mute flies, and this Kunkka is going to be done for. They killed Ori once, but I don't know if they'll be able to kill him again. The Nullifiers are doing so much work as TB gets repelled back to the well. It's a little sloppy from ViCi, but they are doing it. The boat gonna fly in. It is still standing. Ori actually caught by the Ice Blast and the boat. That'll bring him down. It's a dieback for the Arc Warden. And now Paparazzi trying desperately to make it away. The Tier 3 has fallen, and now the Kunkka's back. They're gonna have an X-Torrent combo momentarily here. Void, he's eating the cheese. He pops the BKB, and he'll just TP out. Looks like he'll be able to make it.
Yeah, damage, but not quite enough there. All right, so costly in the end, right? They actually, they do gain some gold here. It's not much. We're still up 21K. Not a huge issue. It's 3 buybacks is the bigger thing. But hey, they lost the buyback on the Arc Ward. That's something.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea from Ori. When you see that LFY is committed so much in a fight like that, you think to yourself, if I buy back and we wipe them again, we can kind of just win this game right now. So I think heart in the right place, and also a hero like Arc Warden, he's got a lot of farm, right? He'll be able to recover from this dieback maybe a bit better than the DP or the Kunkka, for example.
Ohio has this gem here. Stocking up old 11 here.
11 does have a BKB and a Scythe of Vice, but I don't know if they're going to matter. The Ice Blast does connect. BKB gets used, and okay, it is going to matter. They're going to turn hard onto Ohio. His Yule Scepter will buy him a little bit of time as Afu comes in and lays some right clicks into Old 11. The X-Boat combo will not connect. And Old 11 will just find that kill on Ohio. Not going to be able to make it away as Monet joins the party, hits him with a reflection. Okay. But I think if you're the Nature's Prophet, you're sort of okay with that, at least trading 1 for 1 before you go down.
Well, I mean, at least you got the trade, but
it's not great.
Good pickoff. I'm happy from LFY. I just traded my Nyx Assassin for Nature's Prophet. Yes. That's going to be a lot of lane pressure relieved right now.
That's a fair point. When you look at the gold exchange, it is a pretty big gain for LFY, so it makes a small dent into that lead that was growing and is now kind of stymied. I have a feeling we'll be waiting for next Roche before ViCi try this again. Of course, it'll be Roche 3, so that means Refresher Shard. And with heroes like Warlock and Void, that Refresher Shard is actually ridiculously valuable.
Yeah, same thing for the Radiant, though. You know, maybe they're the ones who get it, so.
That's a good point. Both sides with big use for that Refresher Shard. TB, Death Prophet, very high on that list.
Back to the old rat Dota. Yeah. All across the map, no one really fighting each other. All the cooldowns are up and available, but LFY, they still need that one big fight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, Trent, that last fight, if there's one hero that was crippled throughout, it's Super. You look at his farm right now, he is low. The Sand King is nipping at his heels in terms of overall net worth.
Yeah, he did a great job throughout the mid game, honestly, because TB was the one who's pushing out the dangerous areas, and even in like the safest parts, it was hard for Super to find much. He's basically being surrounded by most of his allies, so his XP staying pretty low. It's a tough situation, but he actually did fairly well. But yeah, at this point, it's obviously going to start falling. He's being focused every single fight. They're looking to get him inside that chrono, just blow him up. Doesn't really have a lot of plays for himself here.
ViCi just with a lot of ways to deal with these BKBs, the Hex on Nature's Prophet, the Nullifier that we'd already talked about.
God, they just punished that roam top so heavy with all those treants, eh?
Like chrono on top of it.
Those racks, a lot of punishment, and now with them smoked up, they're looking for someone playing a bit too greedy here. I think they actually just, no, they don't have any wards there, so they're not aware as to what Super's up to.
Still a little time on Roche, 40 seconds. LFY, so cautious right now. You look at their vision. They have one ward down, and it's right outside of their base and soon to expire. So you can understand why they're playing with such a conservative position, basically just locked on their side of the map behind the tier 2s in this little area. Nowhere to farm, but they know if they go out of the base without buybacks and they start getting picked off, that is a first-class ticket for ViCi to just close out this game.
They need to save a ward for whichever lane they push to for VG. They want to catch all the angles where these big initiations can come from the Sand King and the Faceless Void. That's why that one was like placed kind of off to that side where you expect that vision. Like someone's going to try and seek out and place a ward on the high ground, then you're going to look for that big chrono, those kind of plays. And even if you're super cautious and you create those vision options for yourself, you're like, okay, we know where they're coming from. It's still this Arc Ward, right? He makes his clone and it just blinks on you. It costs him nothing but 36 seconds. That's pretty much it.
Yep, part of what makes this hero kind of ridiculous. He does also have a BKB now, that fresh 10-second charge ready to go. Ohio charging out of the base. Maybe needs to be just a little careful, but they did X him, so they'll pull
real
back.
options there.
Okay. Well, Roche actually up in a minute now.
Ohio has drawn the line, dude. Oh, Super's drawn another line, though. Who are we going to listen to? We're going with
smoke.
Super.
LFY, they're going to move out. Scotty also up on the Terrorblade. Big chase potential, but can they find the opening? An awkward angle to initiate. The Nature's Prophet is the only one not with them right now, but of course he can teleport in. Roche now coming in about 35 seconds, so this is a great time to win a fight. Then we're going to move into the pit. He breaks the smoke on Super.
Oh, and they just go back to farming.
I don't think they saw Super, though, so...
No, they don't know.
No confirmed vision. ViCi very split up right now. This does present an opportunity for LFY. Very hard to capitalize on, especially now that the smoke is broken.
Yeah, they know where they're all postured.
Oh, beautiful stun to set things up as Paparazzi jumps in. Chrono on 3. The Ice Blast will fly through, but the damage has been done. The Rock follow-up. Monet almost gets off the Sunder, but he'll be the first casualty of this fight. Super with the BKB on, pops the Exorcism, but he's on the run. They'll finish off Yao. Afu trying to TP, does make it out, but with 2 dead, without buyback, ViCi will feel very safe taking this Roche and securing another cheese and now the Refresher Shard for themselves.
They make these heroes look broken. Every single fight, it's a 2 or 3 man chrono, and then instantly it's followed up by the Rock. This is the no diggity double bubble strats coming out here from ViCi Gaming. They study those Cinder and replays, and it's going to good use, man. They are not getting out of this tournament. They're sticking into it.
25K net worth lead now. Super just about to lose his Exorcism. They are scouted out. This could almost be the final fight. 11 gets initiated on. He's very low, but so is Ohio. The Yule Scepter buys him a little bit of time. The Prophet just buys back straight away, and now DP is locked down inside of the bubble. The Nullifier doing so much work, and the boat from Kunkka really not going to do a hell of a lot. Yule Scepter buys him a second, but Ori secures a double kill. And now that the Prophet's bought back, they're going for the high ground. Paparazzi already destroying barracks. And on the other side, Lanham getting chased down, but it's kind of just a distraction out of the base. Kunkka gets turned into a little piggy. He'll get right-clicked by 11, and it is a full 5-man wipe in the end. AA has respawned, but the bottom lane of barracks have fallen. And Trent, it feels we could be just moments away from a good game.
Oh, VG Gaming, they know there's no buybacks to LFY. They have to go for every single hope possible. You can't blame them at this point. They've had a terrible draw. They faced some damn hard opponents. But Pain beat VG. So
VP,
it's not
Liquid,
impossible.
and VG Gaming, the 3 Goliaths that LFY had to face in this Swiss group stage. Very unfortunate for them, but this looks like it will be the end of their run as Mega Creeps have now been secured.
And they're going to back off, though. And LFY are sticking in it. They know they have the Terrorblade. They're going to believe here, at least for a moment. We'll see if they're just sobering up right now or if they're actually going to try and stick through it.
The problem, though, Trent, is all those Roche fixins are still in the inventories of ViCi Gaming. So there's going to be a literal double bubble with this 2 Chronosphere.
Yeah, Fenrir's buying a 42-minute Spirit Vessel. That's just rude. No charges even. You would think at a certain point it just comes with them.
Well, I guess if Void uses the first Chrono and then uses the Aegis, the Refresher Shard's pretty good, but he only has 650 mana, and the Chronosphere is 300 mana. So
no Shadow Blading.
Yeah, you're not Shadow Blading, you're not Time Dilating, you're not really doing anything but the double bubble. Maybe not the ideal Refresher Shard carrier in this scenario, especially without a stick or anything like that.
I'm sure it's fine. Nah, he'll just walk in, dude. He'll just BKB, he'll Chrono, and he'll just do it again.
I mean, when you're right, you're right.
Mana? Except for Lana, I'm getting rid of those mana boots.
He's swapped in the Daedalus now for the power treads.
All right, so he's not going to walk, and he's going to waddle in and do the Chrono. My mistake.
Raid boss style, smoke up, and the initiation from Sand King. They're going to jump right on this Terrorblade to get things started. The first bubble comes, and TB is down. Has the buyback, uses it immediately as now they go in onto the Death Prophet. Does have the Eon Disc and Exorcism as the rock falls. They'll try to turn onto the Nature's Prophet. BKB comes, the boat flies through, but the X is going to be off the mark. BKB's giving LFY some options. They're using all of their buybacks. They bring down the Tempest double, but ViCi Gaming still have so many resources. The Epicenter doing some work as Monet may die for the second time. Sunder does buy him a little window. They actually bring down the Arc Warden. No buyback available on Furion either.
Oh, but Paparazzi, there it is. The second Chrono, the closeout, and the GG is called.
Dude, good thing he had the Aegis. He came back with full mana. The double bubble was there, and it secures the win with a pretty chaotic